step in and introduce yourself to everybody that watches my channel and gets to know you. So everybody, welcome. Every 0 people that are here.
Hopefully more come in, but I don't mind looking at myself in the camera either.
So today we have Joe Janis. That's how I say it, right?
Janis? That is me. Actually got to move my... So now I'm looking directly into my camera.
Take an escalator down.
Right?
Yeah. And Joe, you live in Phoenix, Arizona.
I do. This is actually to look at my chest. Sorry. Right? Bathroom is over there.
Ooh.
I know. Cheesy realtor here. Thank you very much.
We are just
fun. I just do a quick intro, and I appreciate your setting this up, Vito. Like Vito was saying, my name is Joe Janis. I'm an agent here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've had my license since 2005, and I've certainly seen all kinds of markets from, oh my gosh, it's crashing and homes are being sold for pennies on the dollar, which was during our financial crash, to today, which we're seeing, a few months ago, actually over the, during the time of the pandemic, as with most parts of the country, home prices have just absolutely skyrocketed. 50, 60, 70%, over the course of a few years, which is completely insane. A quick sidebar for anybody who is, living in the Midwest. I actually moved here from the Detroit, Michigan, suburb of Detroit, Michigan back in, 1996. So it's been a while. Woohoo!
Do you know Brenda Gerke?
Pardon me?
Brenda Gerke, Goerke. She's in the Detroit area. She's in a suburb of Detroit, and she's a Karen Carr student as well.
Okay, I might have to reach out. And thank you for that. So I'm just going to make a little note in a little bit and do that. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to show really quickly, just to kind of give you an idea, I'm going to share my screen and just point out a little bit, if it's okay to just kind of jump right in and talk a little bit about what's going on in our market.
Yeah.
Share screen. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm doing this correctly.
While we're doing this, I can say that Joe and I met through our video mentor, Karen Carr. She does YouTube for realtors, and the class that she put together helps us understand how to best market, show off our expertise through video, through YouTube marketing. And Joe and I met through that course, and the great thing about the internet is that we get to do these videos and talk to people and allow people to see us and see a little bit about us. What's going on here?
Absolutely. I think I might have moved around my screen a little bit, but
oh, I see what you're doing. You can pop into another thing. So the idea here is I do this once or twice a week with everybody that's within the class, just so you can get an idea of, hey, I don't know what it's like to live in Phoenix, so let's talk to Joe about it, because he's the expert. He knows far more about it. And I've been to Phoenix once or twice, and the only claim to fame I could tell you is that my Winnipeg Jets franchise moved down to Phoenix to play hockey in the desert as the Coyotes, and then 10 years later they reinvigorated that or reset that franchise, and now they have the NHL, the Winnipeg Jets there too. So tell me what you know. There you go. Whoa, look at this. Cool. We have actual numbers. That's awesome.
Yes. So you can see this. There's a company called the Cromford Report, and this is for anybody who really loves data, really loves watching the market, the trends, all kinds of things. And like I was saying, when this pandemic first started, you could see home prices just soar and climb, and it was a crazy seller's market where people were bidding up homes $100,000 over purchase price, waiving appraisal, waiving inspections, letting sellers stay in the home for another 90 days. I mean, all kinds of craziness went on. Well, as we can see here, and I don't know if you can read this, but I will go ahead and read it. This is as of May 23rd. The Cromford Report is an organization that has been watching the Metro Phoenix real estate market for like the last 20 years or so. So they look at what's been happening, where things are now, and then they do projections. So right now, in a nutshell, the Metro Phoenix area still has gotten into an affordability issue as well as a lack of inventory issue, which again, a lot of parts of the country are. Right. But as of yesterday, I'm just going to read this. Every leading indicator is pointing to a sharp slowdown in the greater Phoenix housing market. Supply has increased very quickly over the last 2 months, while demand is much weaker than it was in March. Again, we just saw interest rates go up, and they're going to continue to. I think the projection, from what I'm reading, is somewhere between 5.5% to 6% by the end of the year, and that's something in general that I've been reading.
I have a friend who does lending, and he said that there's a possibility we might even see 7%.
Oh my gosh!
How truthful that is, but
that's crazy.
Scary, right?
My first condo that I bought back in like 97 or 98 had a 7.5% interest rate, but we shall see what happens. But one of the other things that I think is very interesting, usually when you start to see a shift in the market, sellers, and no fault to the seller because they want to get the most for their money, is pricing changes tend to be, let's put it this way. If you're a seller who wants to sell our property in this market, depending on the price point, because we have to dig in deeper in the area, I think what's going to happen is sellers are going to be a little slow to reduce their prices as inventory increases, time on market increases. So what we're going to start to see is, we're actually seeing it now. I've been showing a buyer who's looking in sort of the East Valley area, Chandler, Mesa, Tempe. Homes are on the market for a little longer than they are typically, but what I'm seeing is prices are taking more time to adjust. So I think the next couple of months is going to be very interesting from a seller reaction to the market perspective, if that makes sense.
What we're seeing the same thing. I have a listing up right now. It's been semi-quiet. I've had a fairly decent open house. Saturday was 4 or 5 sets of people, which that was slow. And then Sunday we actually had 10 sets of people, and 2 other agents came back again with their clients to check it out. So we're seeing things go on the market. I see a lot of other agents calling and asking me what's going on, because we have listings together and that we're competing against, and we're like, this is it. This is what we've been talking about for the last 4 years. The real estate market is cyclical, right? From 2007, 2008 to 2018, 2015, it kind of slowed down, but 2018 we saw a little plateau for about a minute, and then but we didn't see a recession. We didn't see it come back, and the economy has been propped up, especially because of us printing dollars and raising the cost of gas, and the market crashing right now. And this next couple of weeks, we're going to see I just saw it today, news of layoffs. I've been telling people that's the next step of this progression, is we're going to see layoffs happening, and that means those people that have over leveraged and squeaked in and just barely got in at with a 5% down, they might be like, I don't have a job. I have no reason to stay here. That 5% just evaporated into nothing, and I might as well go move back in with mom and dad. I don't think that's going to be as widespread as we saw in 2008.
Sure.
But I do think that in metropolitan areas where there's a good economy, it's going to hold still, if not level off, and maybe just shrink a little bit. But in areas like, I always say St. Louis, but that's a metropolitan area. But the outskirts, the suburban areas, we're going to see the market recede for sure. Like for me, I'm in a valley, right? Anything outside of the valley, you're going to see it kind of just shrink, like Modesto, Stockton, Los Banos. Those areas are going to really just suck back into normal dollars, where we have a very stable economy here. We have tech, we have finance, we have aerospace, and you have a lot of stuff down there as well. And I think, we're going to be semi-cushioned, but we are going to have to be a little bit more realistic because like my seller just texted me and he's like, any news? No, I said, be patient, right? Not to be, we had this plan and I knew this guy since January. I'm like, look, we have to get the house on the market. We have to get the house on the market. He goes, okay, no problem. And then he procrastinated and he held on and he held on. And all of a sudden, like a month ago, he goes, okay, I'm ready to go. I think we know where we're going to move. I go, the market's flattening out right now. Before we even knew about the market the rate increase. He goes, yeah, I know. I kind of slowed down on it. And now he's like rushing. And that leads to panic. Boy, I tell you, you don't want to panic. Just like let it happen. Go meditate.
Right. I mean, here in the Phoenix area, we still have folks coming here from, California, places where not only property taxes, but you can buy more house here. People are still mobile. So we're still finding that there is still competition for, what's happening now is you can't just throw a home on the market with crappy pictures, stuff everywhere and expect to get 15, 20, 30 offers on it above list price. The things that are going to go first are the ones that, again, are professionally staged, professionally photographed, described. You've got a professional, you've got a strategy in place that says to a bigger pool of buyers, hey, this home is a good value. So what ends up happening, as you know, is you create a little bit of an auction or a multiple offer kind of scenario. That's still happening. And the homes that don't look as great are getting less attention because I was just showing some homes yesterday, like I was saying, you can't ask for a premium and then expect someone to come in and put $150,000 into the home, $200,000, and it's already a $550,000 home in an area where, on average, and this is just a quick note about the cost of living here, cost of living is not that bad. One of the things that drove people here was our inexpensive housing, which has gone away in a lot of ways. And we also have rents that are high, very high, and an average salary of around $55,000 a year. So you're going to have people coming from different parts of the country because of our low taxes. It's still a deal to buy a home here, but you're just going to have less competition over it. That's where we're going to see pricing, I think, more pricing adjustments over the next many months. It's not going to crash. I mean, I get that question is, when's it going to be like 2008 again? Well, it's not. I mean, you know why. Lenders don't lend to people that don't make an income. There's no stated income, no asset. I'm a bartender and I owe 4 homes. That doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
Besides, we have builders that are still behind in building. So it's still an inventory. We still have more buyers who want to buy than inventory.
And you still have people coming into Arizona trying to move. We have a ton of people trying to move out, but we still have people that want to buy here. We have a ton of people that are professional. And they're like, oh, you know what? I don't have to compete against the Netflix guys that have $5 million in stocks anymore because their stocks just evaporated overnight, right? That stock, their stocks that was their down payment. I had a guy that was looking for a $3 million house, $3 to $3.5 million. And he's like, Vito, and he works for Netflix. He's like, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna hold off and see what happens. And I had a guy with Facebook. I had a guy with Jable. I had all these other guys, and the stocks just evaporated, and that means the down payment went away. So they're gonna hold off. But there's other people. A majority of my business or of people moving out of state or out of the area, to Rockland or to Monterey area. But mostly it's like Phoenix and Arizona, Texas and Idaho, right?
Yep.
For me, that's what I see. And then I see some people thinking like other states like Tennessee and all that, but I think on the East Coast, it's mostly people coming out of New Jersey and New York. But, I'm telling you, you probably get Californicated a lot over there, right? I mean, probably have.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and also parts of the East Coast. You got to remember that. I mean, our taxes are probably less than half of what they are in areas of the East Coast. Even in Michigan, where I lived as a kid, I think our property taxes were $10,000 or $12,000 a year. In Arizona, depending on the area, I mean, there are some historic districts that are really nice, wonderful homes, Central Phoenix, and some of those property taxes for these, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes are $1,000 a year. $1,000 a year. And I mean, $3,000, $4,000. Once you get to like 4 or 5, that's on the high side for property taxes. Now, mind you, and I'm going to say this because I don't believe in just sugarcoating everything. Public schools in general in Arizona, not so great. Just saying.
But,
we do have private schools, Montessori schools, things like that.
Right.
Where people will, they'll buy a home in a certain area in the plan of putting their kids into a Montessori school. And the reason I say that is because, again, I want to be realistic. From a public school perspective, Arizona is not known for its wonderful public schools, in all honesty. What we're known for is great weather, for the most part. I mean, yeah, it gets hot in the summertime. You can fry an egg on the sidewalk.
Road runner.
Yeah, right. Our monsoons, if you like weather, monsoons are kind of fun. Big dust storms, we call them haboobs. Those are kind of fun. I just did a video on those not too long ago. I was trying to be funny. I don't know if it came across that way. But, and then proximity to, as you go up in elevation, you got Flagstaff, Prescott, Payson, Sedona. So it's quite a cool state to do a variety of things in. And cost of living is still it's not bad.
Right.
Although I did just before I went to Palm Springs over the weekend, I loaded up my car with gas that was $5.40 a gallon. What? And I drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It cost me $120.
That's all over though. I mean, I think we're paying like close to $6.30, I think, a gallon. I've seen it in different places where like it's almost over $7. It's ridiculous. It's just untenable. But I think we're all in this crunch until the next election cycle comes through and something's going to change. We're just all going to have to suck it up, right? I mean, go out and start growing your gardens, and
you got to have a place to live. And the choice is really, 3: relative, rent, or buy.
Mm-hmm.
I love my parents to death. There ain't no way in hell I'm going to go live with them again. Besides, I own my townhome. Not that I'd ever move, but really, that's what it comes down to. And when I work with clients, it's, I start with a question, as I'm sure you do, is when the question of renting or buying comes up, okay, how long do you plan to be in your home? If it's 3 years or less, renting might be an option. Seriously, no joke. If it's more than that, you're going to be there a while, you want roots, whatever, or even use it as an investment property or rental property in the future, then, buy something. I'd rather pay myself than my landlord to own.
Mm-hmm. And you're semi-upwardly mobile in a place when you're like in Phoenix, in downtown Phoenix, because people are constantly moving there, right? Yep. There is a cost of selling, but at the end of the day, if you're smart, if you think about it, you buy an initial property and then you settle that out, and then you buy a second property and that becomes your primary, and then you take the original property and rent it and watch somebody else pay down that mortgage. And that's a good, once that pays off, once you pay off that mortgage, that becomes a little stipend for your retirement or what have you, right?
Yeah. I have some people doing that right now. They just bought a condo in a mid-rise place in Central Phoenix. And their plan is to, it's near a bunch of healthcare systems, a bunch of hospitals. Mm-hmm. So their plan is to rent it out to residents. And it's going to be perfect. I mean, it's lock and leave. They can work their 24-hour shifts, walk home as opposed to drive if they're really tired.
Right.
And it's walkable to restaurants and bars and the light rail we have here, which is public transportation. So, the right strategy, you can have some nice residual income as well as, some assets for your retirement. Like you're saying, it's a good portfolio.
And you have a good nightlife down there?
We do, as I shake my head.
I almost started doing that with you.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when I first moved here in Phoenix, downtown was not a place you went. It was not safe. There was nothing going on. It was like you went down there to work, and when 5 o'clock hit, you left. Over the past, like I said, I've been here like 26 years. Downtown is now a place to be. Restaurants, bars, hotels, nightlife, theaters. They have every first Friday, the first Friday of every month, they have what is called First Friday, which is just a huge block party with bars, restaurants, vendors in an area called Roosevelt Row. So you bring your dog, you walk around, you can eat, drink, buy things, tchotchkes for your house, ice cream, whatever. It's that particular area is walkable, but I would say in general, just talking about the walkable side of things for a second, is in general, Phoenix is not the most walkable city in the world. It's getting better that way, but we just weren't built out that way. So we're trying to make, with the light rail, things like that, it be a little bit more of an urban setting where it's a little more, leave your car, hop on the light rail, go down, party, head back home.
That's, yeah, San Jose is mostly suburban sprawl. We have a big downtown. They have like a 20, 30-year plan to make it completely walkable. Like you can't even drive your car downtown at a point.
Right.
You have Google spending billions of dollars bringing in a bunch of real estate for commercial, residential, etc. And the whole idea is, and I can see it actually evolving right now. We have San Pedro Square, and then we all have downtown by where Fairmont used to be. It's very, very, very walkable. But I live 10 minutes away by car, so I can do. I'm hearing a lot of reverb. I can do, an Uber to downtown, have a couple drinks, and then drive back or get a ride back.
Right.
It's kind of defeating the purpose. We do have light rail, but it's not as widely used as some would think, right?
Right. We're a big we used to be like called a big. It's just Phoenix was a big town. Now we're turning into a grown up city.
Big old city.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, what's your favorite restaurant when you go downtown?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have some friends actually that own a place called Fez. Fez on Central, Fez on Central. So that's always fun to go to. It's not like French or really expensive. It's just a great place to be with a great vibe. Sort of the, I don't know, Mediterranean kind of thing. Sandwiches, salads, drinks, martinis. You got an outdoor seating area. Next door to that is a really cool hotel called the Foundry. It's got a nice little sort of deli. And again, that's within walking distance of the Roosevelt district, Roosevelt area. A few other places that come to mind, because I like sushi. There's a place called Moira Sushi downtown Phoenix. And those are kind of like my staples. Although, we have a place, an area called Arcadia here in Arizona. It's like Camelback Road to Indian School, 64th Street to like 44th. There's a really cool restaurant there called The Hill. Excuse me. No. Oh my God, I just left my brain. Not Hillstone. But anyway, yummy salad. And they have non-alcoholic wine. I don't drink. So having non-alcoholic wine is kind of cool.
That's really cool. I do drink, but I've been kind of on a hiatus of drinking. I mean, I'll have a drink every now and then.
Yeah.
My wife and I went down on a date to downtown San Jose on a Thursday because the girls went to go see their friend perform in a play. And we had a couple hours to spend, so we walked around, and I actually had a Moscow Mule. It's the first drink I had in like 3-4 weeks. You know, it's not something I do. So I'm actually let me jump this. I'm gonna add this screen here, and let me see. You can tell this is relatively new to me, so be patient. So you can probably see this now. Can you see the map?
Oh yeah.
So you were talking Camelback, right? Where's
Yeah, if you zoom into, keep zooming in. Yeah, keep going.
yeah, there's Camelback right here.
Yeah, that's Camelback Mountain.
Yeah. Mountain? That doesn't look like a mountain.
Wait, Camelback East Village. Okay, I'm just getting my bearings here.
So is this the area right here? What's walkable that you were talking about?
Well, I mean, yeah, when it says Phoenix, that's a pretty big area. So
Right.
you've got sort of a um, Central City South is kind of walkable.
That's right here.
Yeah, like 7th Avenue, Central, like McDowell, Monroe area.
Yeah.
Those are downtown.
So what areas do you manage? Do you focus on?
Well, now, Vito, I'm a realtor. I go anywhere.
You know, dude, I have a house for sale and we're closing on it next week. And it's in Hollister, which is 55 minutes on a good day. It's a different county.
Yeah, no, I won't do that. I mean, in all
Yeah.
honesty, I have helped clients, you know, buy and sell in Sun City, Glendale, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Tempe, Mesa, Gilbert. One of my clients now is looking in Chandler and then Paradise Valley. But if you look at my website, most of the areas are sort of a central Phoenix
Right.
area and unique homes, whether it be historic, like a Spanish hacienda, a bungalow, something contemporary, modern, mid-century modern, that kind
Right. So what's your favorite kind of house there?
of thing. Ooh. I'm a fan of contemporary, not modern from a glass and concrete
Right.
steel thing, but something
Like a traditional.
modern, or excuse me, contemporary. And there is something to be said for, mid-century modern homes too. We have a number of neighborhoods here that are after, some of them are, Al Beetle, Ralph Haver kinds of mid-century modern homes. And those are
Yeah.
clean line, slopes. They have clerestory windows and sort of the up by the ceiling. This is really cool. Very clean homes. Pretty open as well.
Yeah. We have a bunch of craftsmen, older, like 100-year-old craftsmen and Victorian homes downtown San Jose, and they're really pretty.
Yeah.
People like to develop them and do weird things to them, but there's some historic societies that protect certain blocks in
Right.
San Jose, which is kind of nice because you go, just a few blocks over and everything's being torn down. 100-year-old
Yeah.
homes being torn down, which is, sad but good because some of them weren't built that well.
No, totally. And, those are, I mean, I have an appreciation for all kinds of different, as long as there's something distinctive to it. And I'm not trying to be a snob when it comes to, neighborhoods where builders came in and, the homes look very similar down the street. I just have a personal sort of interest in just architecturally distinctive properties, whether it be craftsman, Tudor style. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
Mediterranean, Spanish. We have 36 historic districts here in Phoenix.
Wow.
36, and they're all different price points, sizes. Some of them are still going through different levels of gentrification. And there's an area here called Coronado, really cute neighborhoods. They have fourplexes, duplexes. Some of the homes are original, original owners. And then others, you go and buy, two pieces of property, rezone, combine it, and you put up this, because it's such a great location, people go in and do a new build, modern style home. I had actually one client who wanted to move from the outskirts into Central Phoenix, but he was looking for something, contemporary, modern. We found a house for him. It was perfect. But it was in a neighborhood where, again, there was a gentrification going on. So you had some homeless folks, which is, it's an urban area. You're going to have that. So, and I hear this all the time, and I'm sure you do too. Joe, if we could just pick up the house and move it, it would be great. But I can't do it because I can't change the neighborhood.
We could do that for you. It'll just cost you 3 times as much.
Right. Or buy a plot, get the plan, build one over there.
Yeah. We'll buy a bunch of balloons, tack it to your house, and maybe you'll float it over, and sure.
I like one of the other comments I get a lot when I'm working with buyers, and it's a couple. One of them will go into the master bedroom, look at the closet, look at the bathroom. It's usually the girlfriend or wife, and it's kind of funny. Honey, where are you going to put your clothes? I think it's funny. It's happened since I got my license. I just think it's a hoot.
My wife has most of the closet. I have more clothes than her, believe it or not, but that's because I have my suits and my uniforms from when I was in the military and all that, like my dress blues and all that. And then I have my standard fare of, button down collars and slacks. But these days, so relaxed. I have, jeans and a collar shirt or this polo shirt. I have a bunch of these because they're comfortable. So I'm all about.
I have to get myself some polo shirts. I'm actually going to show something really quick, if it's okay. Just go back to the screen share. This is the main screen of my entire screen share. This is the main screen of my MLS. So what we have here right now is, 95, little less than 9,600 homes on the market.
Holy cow.
Now a balanced market, this has actually gone up. There was 2 or 3 months ago, I was looking, and it was about 5,200 homes in the active or coming soon field.
So that's what is this one county?
No, this is all of the AR MLS, which is, you've got a couple different counties in here.
Okay.
I believe Pinola's in here, certainly Maricopa, but so we've seen an uptick in, how do I go back to?
I have no idea.
There we go, stop screen.
Okay.
So we've seen quite an uptick in listings. That didn't even include the homes that are currently under contract.
Those are active homes, right?
Active homes, or coming soon. Soon here is, there's a certain time frame where you can put in the MLS. They, sort of pre-market it, but the only people that get the coming soon are the people that actually subscribe to the AR MLS list, or I set them up to receive notices. The coming soons don't get propagated to Zillow, Redfin, or any other outside search engine for homes.
Right. We implemented that about a year ago. We call it members only, which is dumb, but the way they call it. But it's coming soon, and you can put it on the market, and there's coming soon show or coming soon don't show. And if it's show, then it adds days on market. So when you actually flip it to active, then you have 3-4 days active days on market. So I tend not to do that. But nowadays it's just a strategy, and it's an extra strategy for you to help market your property. But I don't
Yeah.
think it's really going to help in this situation when we have an abundance of homes too, right? I mean, you're talking about the whole area of the Phoenix area, right? The entire.
Yeah, when I say Metro Phoenix, I mean, and this is Maricopa County. This is, I think, Pinal County, and I think we have some listings in there from Sedona as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a big portion of Phoenix, but still, it went from about 5,200. It's almost doubled in the past number of months. Now that's all kinds of properties. That is single-family homes, townhomes, patio homes, condos, pretty much everything. Not commercial property though.
Yeah, I'm just doing a quick look on my thing. Just for Santa Clara County, we have 1,774 active homes. Regardless, that's one county. And then we have like 5 adjoining counties, so I haven't really looked at that number. So we were generally around 500 to 800, depending on the day and the week, and that's over the last 3 years.
Wow.
Before that, we would see 1,500 to 2,500, and that would be an ebb and flow as well.
Right. So it sounds kind of balanced.
Yeah. So we're coming into a balanced market for sure.
Well, I see some hard conversations with sellers coming soon. And as a matter of fact, as soon as you and I are done with this call, I have one that I have to have in a little bit. Yeah, I think he's going to be a little shocked that the market has changed that quickly.
Within like 7 days, right? I mean,
yeah,
it was like everything's rosy, everything's great, nothing's going to happen. 5%, 5.5%. Well, okay, that might not, I don't know. And then the market started doing this, and we're like, oh, okay. And then within like days, it just went from like to
It'd be interesting to see where the tipping point actually happened. There was a book called The Tipping Point, and it's basically this,
Malcolm,
you've got all kinds of activity going on, all these things happening, and then at some point there's this tipping point. And I think right now it is a combination of sellers saying, okay, we've made a lot of money on our home, interest rates going up, inflation, instability. So you have people that are sort of on the sidelines saying, we're just going to rent for a while because I don't want to overpay.
Yep.
I don't want to overpay, which I get, but then we get into timing the market like we do when we're buying stocks. And I don't know how that works. It's impossible to time the market, but I get not wanting to buy something and have it drop in price 60, 90 days later.
Right. I mean,
it's still a house. It's still housing. You still have to find someplace to live, and it's your own asset.
Right. So what I tell people is like, well, as far as timing the market is, where the tip was, and we were there, and now that it's coming down, let's get this thing sold. And yet you might lose a couple $1,000s here. But at the end of the day, where the market was, and we just didn't time it right. I timed like 3 houses just perfect, right? And they were ecstatic and happy, and I was the hero, but now I get to be the bad guy.
Yeah, right.
Guy, but still, we've had conversations with people for months and months and months, and now they know the market's at that plateau, and I don't know if it's going to peak, go back up, or go back down, or we just don't know. But now's the time. They're committed to selling. They did all the prep work. We did a lot of work on it. And now we got to get it on the market and get them sold. So it's.
Yep. And while all that's going on, and I'm actually cool with this, I feel like a therapist. You're dealing with emotion and people getting nervous and anxious, and it's like, it's going to be okay. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I get it. Been there, done that. I've walked plenty of people through this. So you're not alone.
We'll get through this. We'll get through it all.
The collaborative effort. You got a great partner.
Well, that's I was talking to my lender yesterday, and he's been in the business for 25 years, and I've been doing this for almost 20, and you've been doing this for a long time too. And that's when It really, you need somebody with experience because they're not going to panic. They're not going to sit there and soil their pants when this kind of stuff happens, and I see it. I have a group of agents that work with me, and I'm like, this is what's going to happen. You have to be able to hold the line and be patient and be confident that you can walk them through the entire thing all the way to the end of the transaction, because this is really where you get your name made, right? You either fiddle your pants or
it is part of our responsibility. Again, I chose this career for a reason, is to be calm. If we're calm, clients are calm, or we'll do our best to calm them. How about that?
Take them out for a beer or so.
Right. Exactly.
And you can drive them home and be your Sherpa.
Exactly. So all I can say is, anybody who's listening, you're thinking about moving to Phoenix, give me a buzz.
Absolutely. Guys,
happy to answer any questions. And at the end of the day, it's all about education. You and I, Vito, we're not really salespeople. It's more about just educating and guiding.
Yeah, the salespeople tend to come and go within the first 3 years, right?
Yeah.
You give us a bad name. And then you guys, like us, we've been around long enough. We know how to work the markets, how to set you up for success and be there. Like you said, be a counselor and be there for you. And it's huge, guys. I mean, that's really where it counts. And having somebody to guide you through everything, know where all the pitfalls are going to be, and you can advise them on how to take that quick detour so you don't, step in a puddle. That's huge. So, well, that's awesome. I want to do this like every couple of months with you, or maybe once a month. I think it'd be kind of great because there's a lot of people moving to the Phoenix area, and I think it would be great for us to get a lot more traction on people, regardless if you use me or not, but at least we're doing a report on what's going on, what the new builds are, what the economy's doing there, that kind of thing. And that way we can actually get some traction on it.
No, I agree with you, and I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you for, suggesting this, staying on top of it, because I know you got busy, and I got busy and was traveling, out of town for a little bit. But this is also a good way to practice just being on camera as I'm looking at you as opposed to the camera.
Well, that's the other thing too, right? I think we had our meeting with Video Ease today, and we're like, hey, everybody, what's going on? And we have a few people that are just not doing their weekly videos, which you got to do the weekly videos in order for us to, smack your hand, right?
That's me.
I'm guilty too, and I have to do two, because I have to have one for real estate and one for Video Ease, right? I have plenty of them done now, and that's part of what I was busy with. But now that I'm done with that, now I can do these interviews, and I'm telling you, these are so fun to do, and it's so enriching because you form relationships with amazing people like you, and you learn something, and hopefully our audience learns something too.
Yeah, I hope so. And I'm up for, if anybody is listening, or when they listen, if they have comments, suggestions, whatever, hey, I'm down. Because at the end of the day, I know what I would like, but what I would like is not something that somebody else would like. I mean, so tell me, and I'll do it topic wise.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to learn more about little areas, or what the average cost of houses are, or maybe like even what it costs to live there, like an insurance breakdown, how much does it cost to register a car, things like that. And maybe we could talk about that next time too, right? Because that's something that's really fun to learn, because cost of living here is breaking my will. Not just my back. It's crazy expensive to do anything here. And, so we're going, my wife wants to go to Phoenix, go check that area out, but next month, we're going to Florida, 4th through the 11th. We're going to go check out the Tampa, the Gulf Coast area. I've been to Florida multiple times. I've been to Georgia, as recently as March last year with Karen. I've been all over to like almost 40 states.
Okay.
And, that area has always rang nice to me because I want to live next to the water. I'm not a landlubber, but I don't like being on boats, but I like being next to the water. And I'm not, so something where everybody here is like, oh, Vito, but Florida, they have these big bugs. Yeah. We have scorpions and rattlesnakes and mountain lions.
Exactly. So there's something everywhere.
Right. You're going to get killed somehow, some way.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Well, dude, this was fun. This is really great getting to know you a little bit more. And we'll do this again.
Sounds good, Vito. And I got a video to do.
You got a couple because you want to back.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.